Yo, what's going on, Gooners? Thank you for everybody who participated in the chat last night. Always fun to do. As you know, you guys make my weekend, man, because we have fun, player ratings, a good laugh, throwing banter around everywhere. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, guys, please hit that subscribe button and like this video. Much appreciated. Let's get into it. Pepe is the man right now. Now, a lot of us gave him man of the match, but it doesn't really tell the full story about it. Arteta was talking about it in the after-match conference. Arteta was basically saying he's got insane potential, more than any player in the team right now. When he first took him in, we knew that Lundberg had sat him for a few games because it just wasn't quite clicking for him. I think when Arteta came in, he realised what that was. And I'd heard a few agents rumbling about this. The fact that Pepe didn't understand the language, that the league was very physical. A lot of things was hitting him sideways. And I think he needed air to listen to. I think Pepe didn't really have a voice. And he's a very reclusive young man. He's always got a smile on his face. He doesn't really make that much of a noise. And I think the corners were coming in on him. And he just needed a hand around his shoulder. That's really what Arteta has done since he's come in. He's really developed him. And we don't have to talk about what Arteta's done at Man City. Everybody knows the players he's developed. I talked about Sane as well, being the latest player who's come out and said if it wasn't for Arteta, I wouldn't be the player I was today. He didn't even mention Pep Guardiola. But in Pepe, we've got somebody, guys, who not only was he man of the match, where he laid it off for Ceballos and Ceballos won the game, he has a 92% penalty accuracy, which is the highest in Europe. He's at 12 out of his last 13 penalties. But I think what Arteta touched on yesterday was the dynamic change in his defensive work. He knows now what he has to do off the ball. And that's very important for a guy who's really done everything because of his offensive ability. He's running on the ball, his footwork, the goals that he scored, 23 goals and 11 assists last year. And he's come in here, and we talk about Welbeck, we talk about Iwobi, we talk about none of those players really ever being able to have an impact of what Theo Walcott was able to do on the wings, yeah? Sanchez on the left, Walcott on the right. We had a combination of guys who could hit 20 goals per season, plus, yeah? And I think when we were left with Iwobi and Welbeck, and we were left with these players who just really, and the Oxlade-Chamberlain, we were just left with players, regardless of what they were able to do on the field, they weren't productive. And guys, what we need right now is we need production all over the field. We cannot just depend on our strikers getting us goals. And that was the key in Ceballos yesterday. Ceballos, a late run into the box from the midfield, just like what Ramsey used to do, and got on the end of something, and then it was a goal. We talked about this season only having one goal from a midfielder, after having the likes of Ramsey, Cazorla, Fabregas, Rosicky, all these guys who chipped in with goals. We're just getting next to nothing in the midfield right now, and that is a major problem. Our problem isn't so much as being clinical. Our problem is just scoring goals in general. Yeah? And this is what makes someone like Joe Willock, who can score goals, it makes him so important, because if you're going to play Ozil at the number 10, and he's not going to get you any goals, his goals is completely dried up right now. Someone like Joe Willock will be able to do that and at the same time grow in a role. And I think with Pepe, you've got somebody who already has that in his locker. That's 17. He's had a hand in 17 goals. And the season's far from over. So he'll easily go into the, he'll easily go into the 20s as far as production goes and a hand in goals. He'll easily go into 20. And that, guys, staples the price tag of what Arsenal paid for him. It's so important that the fans understand that. There's still a lot of you out there. I'm not going to mention your names. You know who you are. There's still a lot of fans out there that are just not sold on Pepe. But this guy is the real deal. And he's only just beginning to understand how good he can be. With Arteta pulling the strings, this guy, he'll be able to be one of the top players in the team for many years to come. He's 24 years old. He's still got a high ceiling. He's not even at his peak yet. And if they get this guy clicking on all cylinders, it's going to be amazing what they can do. Don't know whether they're going to think about doing what Bertram and a few others have said, playing him through the middle. I know in the last game we did see spots where he was playing in the middle, but just the fact that Maitland-Niles was able to give him the support that he's needed to shine is godsend. Yeah? If Bellerin goes back in there, you can forget any production from Pepe, because what Arteta talked about was he has the ability to sometimes go missing in a game, and that is what Arteta's trying to focus on. He's trying to focus on trying to get him involved in the game for 90 minutes rather than doing something great and then fading out of the game for 10 or 15, 20 minutes. And Arteta has spotted that, and he's trying to nullify that weakness in his game, as well as increase the defensive output of him backtracking. And it was really wonderful to see him getting stuck in yesterday. And it's really nice to see everyone getting stuck in defensively. That's what I like about Eddie Nketiah so much. The fact that he's willing to do the dirty stuff off the ball. And if you don't have a team like that, I can't see how you improve. Because for a very long period, guys, we've just had a team that is innately lazy. We've had a team that, one of the best teams in the league on the ball and one of the worst teams off it. And Lacazette kind of personifies that, doesn't he? He kind of, where is he when things ain't going right? And actually, lately it's been, where is he when things are going right? Yeah? But I think with Pepe, we've got somebody who's so dynamic. And it's great that Arteta understands that. And he did say, I've known him for a long time, personally. Arteta said, I've known him for a long time. And we talk, the language barrier, that's been improved on because they realize it's an issue. So they're covering off that. And as the time goes by, he'll be able to develop in a stronger person, a stronger player, and more of a team player as well. And he'll be able to express himself a little bit more, because I'm sure it must be frustrating for a player who has a language barrier and there's things going on and you can't even voice what's happening. So a lot of these things are coming down, and I just think that it's great for him. Big fan. I welcomed him with open arms, and I believe in his potential, and I think he's going to be a stud for the team. And I just can't wait to see what he can do. I think he'll get double-digit goals and assists this season, and that, I'm all over that. Yeah, I'm all over that, because I've been waiting for someone to come in and replace the production from the likes of Theo Walcott and Alexis Sanchez. I've been waiting for someone who can come and do that. And although Mkhitaryan was a good, decent player, he too had the ability to just vanish. Not just for parts of a game, but for completely a whole game. I mean, sometimes Mkhitaryan was like, whoa, was he even playing? Do you know what I mean? It's just like, what is going on here? And I think you need to increase the tempo and the urgency in those type of players. And that's the reason why I would say Mkhitaryan would do well in this team, because the manager and the mindset and the expectations are completely different than it was under Wenger or Emery. And at those points in his career, he wasn't really working hard. He wasn't giving 100%. And he's gone to Roma and he's put in a fantastic season. But guys, I'm going to leave it right there. Nicolas Pepe, he's the man right now. Speak to you guys later. Peace out.